Good day everyone, we are Group 1 and today we'll be presenting our data warehouse project using the Kimball Lifecycle approach. So this project is about designing a data warehouse for a retail company called NKKV Food Corporation. Let me first introduce the members of our group. I'm Kimberly Buan, with me are Veronica David, Christine Jean Laksamana, and Noela Marie Salas. Next. Here's a quick overview of our presentation. We'll go through the main phases of the Kimball Lifecycle: the business overview, project goal, project planning, business requirements definition, technical architecture design, dimensional modeling, physical design, ETL system design, implementation, deployment, and maintenance. Next. Our company is called NKKV Food Corporation. It's a mid-sized food retail chain with 25 stores nationwide. They sell products like fresh produce, packaged goods, ready-to-eat meals, and beverages. As the business grows, it becomes harder to manage information from different stores. They need better ways to track sales, inventory, and customer behavior. So our main goal is to build a data warehouse that can combine and analyze sales data from all branches. So this will help the company to improve inventory management, make data-driven decisions, and give executives a full view of their business performance. Next. So to make this possible, we created a project plan based on the Kimball Lifecycle. So here are the key points. Our data warehouse will focus on sales, inventory, and customer data. So the main stakeholders are business analysts, IT department, department manager, and executive. This project will take 6 months to complete, and the estimated budget is 1 million. Next. So this is where we figure out what the business wants to know or improve using data. So we want to use data to answer the important business questions like what products are selling the most. So we'll check the sales trends by product and by the store to see which items are popular and where. We also want to know who are our best customers. We want to find out which customers spend the most or buy frequently so we can reward them or market better. For the key performance indicators, the sales revenue is the total money we earn from selling products. The gross margin is the profit we make after covering the cost of goods. Inventory turnover is how quickly we sell and restock items. For stock out frequency, this is how often products are unavailable when customer wants to buy them. And lastly, the product return rate is how often customer returns product. Yun lang. Next.
So next is the technical architecture design. So for our data warehouse system, we follow the Snowflake schema architecture. So this is a type of dimensional modeling where dimension tables are normalized into multiple related tables. The benefit of this design is that it helps minimize data redundancy and enhances integrity. It is more complex than a star schema, but it's ideal for our business setup where data relationships are layered and need to be organized cleanly. So our data warehouse is built on a relational database, so specifically using MySQL. This was chosen because it provides robust support for structured data, indexing, relational queries, which is essential for managing large volumes of sales and inventory data effectively. Next, we implemented a 3-step ETL process. Next po. ETL ba yun? Ay, pabalik po. So, we pull raw data from our POS systems and inventory management systems, which serve as the source of real-time business operations data. So next step is transform, this step ensures that data consistency by cleaning and standardizing values, removing duplicates, formatting dates uniformly, and mapping codes to understandable categories. Finally, the load, the clean data is inserted into the data warehouse where it becomes available for analytics and reporting. Altogether, our technical architecture ensures that the company's operational data is efficiently collected, accurately transformed, and reliably stored for business analysis. Next, we move on to dimensional modeling. which is one of the core steps in designing a business-friendly data warehouse. So at the center of our model is the fact table, which is focused on sales transactions. So this table captures measurable business events such as quantity sold, revenue, and discount values. So supporting the fact table are our dimensional tables, which include data, product, customer, inventory, and region. So we also define the grain of the fact table as one row per sales transaction, detailed by product, location, and date. So this level of detail ensures that we can perform accurate and flexible analysis across various business dimensions. So this dimensional structure supports reporting needs and allow businesses users to slice and dice the data in ways that are meaningful for decision making. Now let's look at the physical design, which focuses on how we implemented our model into an actual database system. We first translated our dimensional model into a set of relational tables in MySQL. So each table corresponds to either a fact or dimension from our earlier modeling step. Since we used the Snowflake schema, some of our dimension tables are normalized. For example, instead of storing product name and category in one table, we separate the product dimension into multiple related tables such as product category, product category, and supplier. So overall, we also defined an indexing strategy to optimize performance. So we created indexes on commonly used keys such as the product ID, customer ID, and store ID. So overall, the physical design ensures that our data warehouse is not only well structured but also performs efficiently even as the data volume grows. It also supports smooth integration with front-end tools and reporting systems. Next go.
So now we're going to discuss the ETL system design. So ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. So ito po yung pangunahing proseso sa paggawa ng data warehouse. So yung una is yung extract. So ito yung stage kung saan kinukolekta natin yung mga raw data mula sa iba't ibang sources tulad ng POS or yung point of sale system and inventory system ng company. Like for example, daily sales reports from each stores are gathered automatically. Next is transform. So dito nililinis na ayos and pinapaganda yung quality ng data. Like pag-format ng mga dates and pag-aalis ng mga duplicate records, standardization ng mga values tulad ng product names and categories, and lastly, pag-map ng mga product codes to their respective categories. And lastly is we move to flow. So dito nilalagay and yung na-transform na data into the data warehouse. So sa stage nito, ready na yung data for reporting and analysis. So next. So after signing the ETL, so we're going to implementation phase. So first, we build the data warehouse. This means that we create the physical database structure based on our design. And second, we develop the ETL processes. So dito ginagawa yung automated workflows na mag-extract, mag-transform, and mag-load ng data. And third, we test the system to make sure na tama and maayos yung data movement. And lastly, we populated the warehouse with initial data. So dito niloload natin yung unang batch ng data from existing sources para magsimula yung analysis. Next phase is yung deployment phase. So kapag okay na yung system, we move to the deployment. So we transfer the system to the production environment kung saan yung actual na ginagamit na to, na ginagamit na ng user yung system. And next one is we provide user tooling para maturuan yung mga analytics and managers kung paano gamitin yung bagong system. And lastly, we complete the documentation. So ito yung mahalagang step para sa maintenance at future upgrades ng system. And lastly, yung maintenance phase. So this is a continuous process to keep the system working well.
So we do performance monitoring to check if the system is running fast and smoothly. And the data quality system or the management rather. So lagi natin check kung accurate yung mga data sa data warehouse. And thirdly is backup and recovery. So gumagawa tayo ng backups para safe yung data sakaling magka-error or disaster. And pang-fourth is we apply ETL updates if there's new data sources or changes in the business flow. And lastly, we offer user support para tulungan yung mga users kung may issues na sakali silang ma-impact.
So, and lastly, for our data warehouse design, we use a Snowflake schema. So, in this schema, the fact table is at the center, which is the sales transaction table, which holds all the important numbers like quantity sold and total sales. So, around it are dimension tables like product, customer, date, inventory, and region. What makes it a Snowflake is that some of these dimension tables are broken down into smaller related tables. So, for example, the product table connects to a product category table. So this setup reduces duplicate data and keep things more organized. So even though it's a bit more complex, the Snowflake schema helps ensure clean, consistent data that's easy to maintain and fit for analysis.
So for our Excel, so this is the raw data, which is we have product ID, customer name, region, order date, product category, product name, price, current stock, total sold, available stock, and total sales. Then we make a table to filter the data. Then, finormat namin yung for price. Nilagyan namin sila ng mga peso sign with 2 decimals. Then, we make slicers for order ID, for easy access. And for product category, which is beverages, fresh produce, packaged goods, ready-to-eat meals. And for customers name like Eliza Thomas. And this, yung total goods sold, gumamit kami ng sum function, which is pinag-add namin yung nasa total goods sold, which is this, para makuha yung total goods sold. And for total sales, gumamit din kami ng sum functions para makuha yung kabuang sales for this month. For stock replenishment monitoring naman, ayan, nilist down namin yung mga product na binibenta namin. Then for current stock, we assume na kurare meron tayong 500 stocks for each product. Then dito gumamit kami ng VLOOKUP para makita kung ilan yung total solds for that specific product. Yan. Then for available stocks naman, gumamit kami ng minus equation, which is subtract namin yung sa E-column, yung current stock, and yung total solds para makuha yung available stocks. Then, for quantity after replenishment, ito yung gumamit kami ng addition sum function, which is pinag-add namin yung available stock tsaka yung stock replenish. For example dito, ito yung 195. Para nag-stock tayo ng 250, ayan, mawawala na yung red highlight, then magiging available na siya. So, for available status, gumamit kami ng if functions, which is yung parang criteria namin is greater than or equal to 20. So, ito, dahil nga kulang yung stock niya, magkakaroon siya ng reorder. Then, gumamit din kami ng conditional formatting dito, which is i-highlight niya yung may word na reorder. Then, dito din, gumamit kami sa quantity after replenishment ng conditional formatting, which is yung less than or equal to 19. Magiging mag-highlight din siya ng red. Then, dito naman sa total sold, gumamit din kami ng conditional formatting, which is yung top 5 items na most sold. Then, dito naman, available products namin. So, yung products namin is 23 lahat sila na binibenta. 23 lahat na items or product yung binibenta namin. Then, dito sa reorder, ayan, makikita nyo kung ilang item yung need mong orderin ulit. For example, dito, hindi tayo nag-stock. So, magiging 2 yung reorder. Tapos, yung magiging available product na lang na binebenta natin or may stock is 22. Then, for sales invoice naman, for sales invoice, ayan, nilagay namin yung business name, address, contact number, email address ng company namin, which is the NKKV Food Corporation. Then, for bill to, address, and date, gumamit kami ng data validation, which is, ayan. So, dito naman sa address, date, product name, quantity, and price, gumamit kami ng VLOOKUP. Then, for amount naman, gumamit kami ng product function, which is pinag-multiply namin yung quantity, tsaka yung price. Then, for subtotal naman, gumamit kami ng sum function, which is pag-add namin yung nandito. Wait lang. Yung nandito. Yan. Then, for tax, which is 12%, gumamit kami ng product, which is imumultiply namin yung subtotal sa 12%. Ito siya. Then, for total naman, gumamit kami ng sum, which is pinag-add namin yung subtotal and tax. And for our dashboard, ayan. So, for total sales, gumamit kami ng sum functions and total goods sold. Then, for example, dito, sa monthly sales to achieve namin, kaya yung goal namin for the month is makaka-achieve kami ng 1,500,000. Then, dito, iaano niya if na-achieve ba namin or not. So, gumamit kami ng if function dito. So, ayan. Bali dito, yung total sales dapat greater than 1,500,000, which is target achieved. Pero pag pinalitan natin to, for example, ng 2,500,000, so magiging target not achieved siya kasi yung total sales natin is 2.1 million lang. Yan. So, dito naman sa product category, gumamit kami ng data validation. Ayan, beverages. Tapos sa total sales naman, gumamit kami ng VLOOKUP. So, for example, dito, yung total sales per category, like beverages, ayan, 23,000. Dito naman sa fresh produce, 15,900. Ayun. Tapos, for our, for our grabs and slicer, kinategorize namin siya by region and category and customer name. For example, sa Calabarzon, ayan yung sales by region, total sales by category, sales by customer. Then, Central Luzon, ayan. Tapos, if by category naman, ayan. Tapos, if naman, per customer, ayan. So, for our Excel, ayun. That's all po. Thank you.